Are we live? Are we live? Chat. Chat. Oops. Okay, let me just. Boop, 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 boop. Let me pull up this. Let me get the thing up here. None of you saw the notification for the old stream. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my god, it's BJ. Hi BJ. Alright, BJ, you're gonna be the first to... You're the first person who's gonna try this out, okay? I might have figured out how to show chat on screen. I'm gonna switch cameras. If it shows your message, it was a success. You're my guinea pig. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's not showing up. I spent time getting it ready. It's supposed to be... Hang on. Hang on. Oh, Jesus. It's there. It's there. It's very big, but it's there. Hang on, guys. Hang on. We're going back into full screen. I gotta set this up. Hang on. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Okay, yeah. Text is way too big. There we go. Okay. Alright. We're gonna do it again. We're going back into this screen. Let me refresh. I said let me refresh. There we go. We got chat! Chat now! There's chat! Whenever we're on the desktop view, it's gonna show chat. You guys are there now. You guys are there. Nice! And I think I lowered the delay a little bit. I don't know if that fully works. But yeah, there's chat now. All right, I'll stop ignoring you guys. What are you guys talking about? All right, there's chat. Nice. I'm very happy with that. Yes, so this is going to be a also, Kitty. This is a read-through of my Sister Location interactive novel. We did a test run, well, not really test run, yesterday. And you guys seem to enjoy it, so we're going to do the Sister Location one. Yeah. How are you guys doing? Look at that, we got chat. I'm not sure why everyone's names are blue. I don't know if there's a way to make them different colors. Oh my god, Party Hat's here. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to change... we can change it to Comic Sans. No, that looks awful. Take me back. Wait, Party Hat, your name's red. Why is... I don't know. Alright. Look at that, we got chat. Excited? Me too. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, let's just get into it. You're making a Poppy Playtime interactive novel? As someone who knows nothing about Poppy Playtime, I'm excited to read it. Party Hat is special? True. No, you're all special. Look at that. Alright. So, here's the interactive novel. Put Her Back Together. We're going to be reading through this today. We're going to have polls to decide which options we go through. I wish I had a second monitor so I could have this on a different screen, but whatever. We don't need that. Caroline is making noises. And if everything's all set, we're just going to get into this. It's nice having chat now on screen. Because, like, one of the things that I like whenever I'm watching a live stream, I like to see people's chat. I like to see chat on the screen. It just makes it feel more professional. I don't know. Yes, sister location music in the background. All right. Let's begin. I'm going to change it to... Only I got to do this. All right. We're going to get started here. Five Nights at Freddy's. Put Her Back Together. An interactive novel. Thank you, sister location. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get some Watch Your Six playing.
Bruce Blakeman can't
Okay,
stop.
well. I've gotten this ad so many times. Oh my god, I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Watch Your Six is peak. True! True! Alright. Intro. Let me make sure everything's good. Okay. Arguably the best? I would agree. Intro. You are Mike, working your first week as a technician at Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. Thanks to your connection to the owner, your very own father, you were able to secure this job with relatively no competition. God, my chair is squeaking! Someone get me some WD-40. My god. It's a sign to gamble your life savings away. Bernie Bear does not condone gambling, except when he does. You were assigned this job with specific orders from your father, but ever since he mysteriously disappeared a few nights ago, you haven't heard from him since. Regardless, you stuck with the job in case he returned. When you first got the job, the interviewer stressed how careful and precise you would need to be to make it through a week on the job, and that most of the time you would be following the instructions of a fellow handyman. Luckily, you're good at following instructions, and this isn't the first time you've dealt with Freddy and his friends. Still, you never know what to expect at Freddy's, so it's best to stay on top of your game. Making your way into the building, you find the elevator. It's much bigger than the other employee elevators, a perk of being the son of the owner, you suppose. There's a yellow object attached to the wall next to the doors of the elevator, with a big screen and two eyes that are permanently stuck looking to the left. Hand unit. There's a small piece of tape with your name on it, just above the screen. Text on the screen prompts you to take it. You do just that. Swiping your keycard and inputting your employee PIN, the elevator doors open. You sigh. Let the fun times begin. We'll change the music again. We'll do Drag Me to the Crusher now. Night 1. The elevator doors slam shut behind you. Pressing a red button on the wall, you hear the sound of a fan on the ceiling activate as you begin to descend into the facility. Just then, a voice comes from the device you grabbed earlier. Welcome to the first day of your exciting new career, a robotic male voice says. Is this my guide? All of the text that's in italics is Michael's thoughts. Whether you were approached at a job fair, read our ad in screws, bolts, and hairpins, or if this is the result of a dare, we welcome you. I will be your personal guide to help you get started. I'm a Model 5 of the Handyman's Robotics and Unit Repair System, but you can call me Hand Unit. Your new career promises challenge, intrigue, and endless janitorial opportunities. A glitchy keypad is displayed on the screen. For being so advanced, this place seems to barely be holding on by a string. Please enter your name as seen above the keypad. This cannot be changed later, so please be careful. We've got our first poll, chat. Are we going to input Mike or random letters? What do we put on the keypad? No, BJ, you're fine. You're fine. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone's here. Why did it just go down to 0? Oh. Oh. Never mind. Alright, Mike it is. Mike it is. Ah, Joey, you are correct. Either way, either option. Yeah. You try to type your name onto the keypad, but the glitchy keyboard makes it impossible to spell anything. It seems that you had some trouble with the keypad, the robotic voice says. I see what you were trying to type, and I will autocorrect it for you. One moment. Welcome, Eggs Benedict. You can tell this job is going to suck. Now, if we don't type anything, we get a different name. You stare at the glitchy keypad. Does it actually expect you to type on this thing? It seems you are unresponsive. Please wait as we select a name for you. One moment. Welcome, Kazumarzu. You can tell this job is going to suck. This is a type of food. I don't even know if I pronounced it correctly. Alright. You are now once again left alone in the silence of the elevator. Well, minus the beeps and boops of machinery, as well as the giant fan above you. You look at the posters surrounding you. It's as if the animatronics on them are staring at you, eagerly awaiting your arrival. But you know this isn't the case. You know, if I'd probably go back and add descriptions of the posters. This jump between lines is kind of abrupt. I'm going to make a note on that, actually. Once the stream's over, I'll go through and... yeah. I'll go through and change that. Also, this background music is very quiet. I did not realize how... We'll just stick with Watcher 6. If it ain't broke. Oh my god. If it ain't broke. Okay. You continue to look around the elevator, and just when you think you see a small pair of eyes staring at you through one of the windows, the elevator stops. The lights turn off, and the voice returns. You can now open the elevator using the bright, red, and obvious button. Let's get to work. Hi, IDEC. You press the button, and the elevator doors open. You are now standing in front of a large vent with caution tape covering it. If you enter the vent... oh, not ominous at all. If you enter the vent, click here. If you don't enter, click here. I don't know why chat's delayed there. Another poll. Do we enter the vent? Or do we not enter the vent? Yeah, IDEX. So this is, I wrote an interactive novel based on Sister Location. This stream's just going to be us going through it, reading through it, the options, the different branching choices. I'm doing polls in chat to see where we go. And I'm honestly probably just going to do every route anyway, because I want to showcase my writing. Alright, enter the vent is winning. Thank you, IDEC. Thank you. Also, chat is on screen now. It should be below me. Enter the vent. Yeah. You enter the vent and begin to crawl through it. The voice on your device speaks. Allow me to fill this somewhat frightening silence with some light-hearted banter. Sure, why not? You continue to crawl. Just a heads up, a lot of this book, a lot of the 90 pages, is just dialogue ripped from Sister Location. Obviously. Due to this... That's where my voice acting comes in. I'm going to carry us. Angsty teen. Yeah. How am I going to do that voice? Oh my god. Alright. Due to the massive success, and even more so, the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment. Unlike most entertainment venues, Did I end the poll? No, I did not. Our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day, and it's your job to get the robots back in proper working order before the following morning. Sounds simple enough, but you remember the words of the interviewer who hired you. Is anything ever simple with Fazbear's? This is another place where I would add the description. Just because, again, that jump between lines is kind of weird. Is anything ever simple with Fazbear's? You finally make it out of the vent and find yourself in a dimly lit room. The first thing you see is a giant spinning fan. Above it is a clown mask wearing a party hat. Party hat?! This job isn't going to be very fun. Yeah, definitely not worth the pay. Creepy. You are now in the primary control module. It's actually a crawl space between the two front showrooms. Now, let's get started with your daily tasks. View the window to your left. Party hats in this, yeah. You walk to the window to your left and stare out into the darkness. You hope nothing is staring back at you. This is the Ballora Gallery Party Room and Dance Studio, encouraging kids to get fit and enjoy pizza. Let's turn on the light and see if Ballora is on stage. Press the blue button on the elevated keypad to your left. You follow along, pressing the button. A light illuminates an empty stage. Uh-oh, it looks like Ballora doesn't feel like dancing. Let's give her some motivation. Press the red button now to administer a controlled shock. Maybe that will put the spring back in her step. You're honored, Party Hat. It's an honor to have you here. Alright. Chat. Do we shock Ballora? Or do we not shock Ballora? So far, we have only missed one game over for not crawling through the vents. If you guys remind me, and if you want to, we'll go through and get the other routes once we play through it. It's a 50-50 split. Alright, just for the sake of showing off our first game over, let's refuse to press the button. You decide not to push the button. After all, there's a good chance these animatronics already want to harm you for intruding into their home. You don't see why you should give them any more reason to want you dead. Please press the button. You stand there, defying your guide. Whose idea was it to shock these things into submission in the first place? The more you think about it, the more you wish you had a taser when you worked at Freddy's. It's only because of the phone recordings left by the previous night guard that you made it out of there alive. Live edits. If you had a taser, surviving 5 nights would have been a breeze. Just then, you hear thumping coming from the vent behind you. You turn around to see a pair of small, glowing eyes staring at you in the darkness. The same pair that were watching you as you descended down the elevator. Biddy Bab. The eyes watching you as you go down the elevator is a reference to the Easter egg of Biddy Bab's face appearing on the elevator window. You try your hardest not to blink, but a cough forces you to momentarily shut your eyes. When you open your eyes, you notice that the creature in the vent is gone, but it's not long before you find out where it went. You feel something nibbling at your legs before you lose consciousness. When you wake up, you find yourself in a supply closet. Your legs are fully gone, and so is your left arm. You look to your right and see a small humanoid animatronic eating your fingers. It notices you looking at it, and the next thing you know, it's crawling towards your face, ready for dessert. Let's shock Ballora now. Getting fired is the best possible outcome. True. Although, I won't spoil anything. You press the button, and a loud zap accompanies a flash of light in the darkness. Let's check the light again. You press the blue button, and see a giant robotic ballerina twirling on the stage. Excellent. Ballora is feeling like her old self again, and will be ready to perform again tomorrow. Now view the window to your right. You walk to the right window, where you are once again greeted by darkness. This is the Funtime Auditorium, where Funtime Foxy encourages kids to play and share. Try the light. Let's see what Funtime Foxy is up to. Pressing the blue button, you see nothing. You don't know whether to be uneased or relieved. Looks like Funtime Foxy is taking the day off. Let's motivate Funtime Foxy with a controlled shock. We're not going to do a poll here. This is just the same game over that we just got. Let's shock Foxy. You press the shock button and then check to see if Foxy is on stage. He is not. Let's try another controlled shock. Another one? You reluctantly press the red button, mouthing the word sorry as you do it. You press the light button and see Foxy on her stage. Looks like Funtime Foxy is in perfect working order. Great job. In front of you is another vent shaft. Crawl through it to reach the Circus Gallery control module. Not wanting to stay in this place for too long, you do as your guide says. Crawling through the vent, you end up in a room full of oxygen tanks, pipes, and machinery. 4 colored lights illuminate the room. On the other side of the glass is Circus Baby's auditorium. Let's check the light and see what Baby is up to. You press the light. Expecting to see an empty stage, You're taken aback by the lack of anything happening. That shock doesn't last long when you remember how dysfunctional this place is. Looks like a few of the lights are out, but we can fix that later. Let's encourage baby to cheer up with a controlled shock. Thanks, BJ. I'm trying to get like the wording correctly. Everyone gets a controlled shock. Mike has normal sense in this chapter. Yeah, that is one of the confines of writing for a game that's this linear, is that you really don't get to have your own, you don't get to have fun with the character in your own way. You're very limited. Yeah, that's all I was going to say. I think if we refuse to shock, it's just the same game over. Yeah. Let's shock baby. Pressing the shock button and then the light button, nothing appears. Your guide prompts you to shock the animatronic a few more times until it eventually works. Great job, Circus Baby. We know we could count on you. You're unsure if she's even back on her stage, considering you can't even see into the gallery. That concludes your duties for the first night on the job. We don't want you to leave overwhelmed, otherwise you might not come back. Please leave using the vent behind you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Deciding you've had enough for one night, you do as you're told. As you crawl through the vent, you hear banging and clanging coming from a nearby room. Maybe it's a good thing you aren't staying any longer. Plus, you're pretty sure the Immortal and the Restless is back on the air tonight, and you do not want to miss it. We did it, guys! We made it through the first night! I think if I were to add more to this, I think at the bottom of each page, I would have the, not each page, at the bottom of every night complete page, I would have the dialogue from Elizabeth, where it's, Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? Just so it's like a neat little thing if you catch it, and it still adds that. So I might go back and do that. It'd just be cool. Night 2. You step back into the elevator, press the button, and hear the doors slam behind you. The elevator begins to descend as the guide on your device speaks to you. Welcome back for another night of intellectual stimulation, pivotal career choices, and self-reflection on past mistakes. You can say that again. We're committed to creating a unique and fulfilling work experience. One part of that commitment is ensuring that you don't get tired of the voice that you're hearing right now. Using the keypad below, please select a new companion voice. For male, press 1. For female, press 2. For text only, press 3. For other options, press 4. Yeah, iDeck, you joined just as we finished. Like in the middle of night 1. Angsty teen. Alright, chat, do we press 1? Do we press 2? Do we press 3? Or do we press 4? Angsty teen. This might be the most important choice in the book. Also, like, I don't... Is the delay that bad? Because seeing it here... Well, it's also not live. Never mind. I guess we're fine. Alright. 4 is winning. 4 is winning. Like I said, this is the most important choice in the book. You go to press the number on the keypad, only to realize there are no numbers. So it doesn't matter. A 9-second delay. That's better, I guess. At least chat shows up. Of the two things, I tried to get chat to show up and get rid of the delay. Chat works perfectly. I'm okay with that. I take that as a win. You hate this place. Pressing random buttons on the keypad, it once again glitches out. It seems that you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will autocorrect it for you. Thank you for choosing Angsty Teen. Best character right here. You sigh and place the device back in your tool belt. The rest of the ride down is silent, minus the usual sounds. You try looking out the window to see if you can spot the eyes again, but see nothing. Once the elevator stops, you're met with the angsty teen you selected. The elevator stopped. You know the routine. You can get out now or whatever. Stay here if you want. You can't help but chuckle. The voice reminds you of a younger you. Well, maybe just you in general. You step out of the elevator and into the vent. You still wonder why there's caution tape, having completely forgotten about it. As you enter the vent, you get your answer. So, funny story, a dead body was found in this vent once. Okay, so not that funny, but it's a story. Well, that explains it. Yeah, we love Angsty Teen. Exiting the vent, you're back in the primary control module. Okay, let's start with your nightly chores. You should check on Ballora and make sure she's on her stage, but whatever. You press the light. As expected, Ballora is nowhere to be seen, but you swear you can make out the vague outline of her shadow on the window. Huh, I guess Ballora has better things to do. Let's zap her. That should be fun. Angsty Teen hates his job. I think he just hates everything. Alright, this is a different branch. This is a different choice. Do we zap Ballora again? Or do we refuse to zap her? Yeah, the delay is kind of weird. It kind of makes the poll a little weird because it's waiting to catch up for you guys. Alright, looks like Zap wins. But you know, I'll do both options here, just because it's different. We'll do both. Let's refuse first. You refuse to zap the ballerina, unsure as to why. Maybe it's your compassion, maybe it's your stupidity, maybe it's a mix of both. You stand there, looking at the props in the room with you. There's a clock hanging on the wall, a gypsy toy on the counter, and 3 plastic heads propped up on metal stands. 2 of them are blinking, while the third appears to be asleep. What could these possibly be used for? You notice one of the drawers the heads are on is opened a little, and you see part of a shiny object inside. Before you can grab it, a loud thud on the window next to you startles you, causing you to fall to the ground. A robotic female voice comes on through a nearby speaker. Glass pressure trigger. Please do not push against the glass. Getting back on your feet, you press the light button to see what caused the thud in Ballora Gallery. Your eyes widen when you see Ballora pressed up against the glass. Her faceplates are open, revealing the wires that make up her endoskeleton. Her eyes are closed, however, so you're unsure if she can even see you. Not wanting to take any chances, you press the shock button. Just then, the power in the primary control module goes out, including the light looking into the Ballora Gallery. Then, the vent coverings in the room open, allowing Ballora to enter the room with you. Frightened for your life, you dash to the vent that leads back to the elevator. You begin to crawl through the vent, hoping you can make it to the other side before she catches up to you. Fortunately, there's no outcrawling this ballerina. She grabs onto your legs and drags you back into the primary control module. Or at least, that's what she tries to do. Instead, the force of her tug is so strong that it rips your body in half. Now, there are 2 people that have died inside of this event. Game over. Yeah. Let's zap her this time. Funny story. As soon as you zap Ballora, you hear a distorted voice coming from somewhere. Also, completely forgot to mention this. That root is a reference to cut content from sister location. This is an unused, yeah, and the voice line too. Glass pressure trigger, please do not push against the glass. That's an unused line, and this graphic, which we just saw, is what I described there. That root basically restores this cut content. Just a cool little thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, that's fine, IDEC. That's fine. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. Let's check on Funtime Foxy. Make sure he's ready for showtime tomorrow. You walk over to Funtime Foxy's side of the room and press the light button. The shadow of the animatronic is visible on the window. You're about to shock the fox when the voice of your angsty teen begins to glitch. Great. Silence. There seems to have been a problem with the voice synthesizer. Default settings have been restored. Please proceed through the vent ahead of you to Circus Baby's auditorium. You roll your eyes. Making your way... I used the hand unit voice there. Making your way into the Circus Gallery control module. Everything is the same as you left it last night. Circus Baby had a busy day today. Let's check the light and make sure she's in proper working order. Turning on the light, you pretend to be shocked when nothing happens. Heh, shocked. Sorry, Joey. Oh, Circus Baby, we aren't here to play hide and seek. Let's encourage Baby to come out of hiding with a controlled shock. You press the shock button. It's jammed. Let's try another controlled shock. You press it again. Still jammed. There seems to be a power malfunction that is affecting our ability to properly motivate Baby. No kidding. Please stand by while I reboot the system. I will be offline momentarily during this process. Various other systems may be offline as well, such as security doors, vent locks, and oxygen. Commencing system restart. Well, that can't be good. The room goes dark. A robotic voice can be heard in the distance. Motion trigger. Entryway vent. Motion... I swear it says motion trigger each time. I don't know. Funtime auditorium. Maintenance vent opened. Ballora gallery. Maintenance vent opened. You sit in silence, listening to the hums of the machinery. Then, a different robotic voice speaks up. Alright, I'm gonna do my Baby impression. I don't recognize you. You are new. I remember this scenario, however. This must be Circus Baby. It's a strange thing to want to do, to come here. I'm curious what events would lead a person to want to spend their nights in a place like this, willingly. Maybe curiosity, maybe ignorance. You've been asking yourself the same question. There's a space under the desk. Someone before you crafted it into a hiding place, and it worked for him. I recommend that you hurry, though. You will be safe there. Just try not to make eye contact. It will be over soon. They will lose interest. Party hat. I can't unlock custom night either. Is she helping you? The animatronics at Freddy's never would have helped you. And who are they? Alright. 3 choices. Our first 3 branch. Do we go under the desk? Do we do nothing? And then I think the other option's turn back. Yeah. Or do we turn back around? Because remember, the vent coverings are open. Why did YouTube Studio just refresh on my phone? So let me get this on the charger, just so it doesn't die midstream. Go under the desk has all the votes. You guys are playing it safe. You guys don't want to see my branching choices. That's fine. That actually does kind of make me happy that you guys want to stick to the game as close as possible. Just because, I don't know. It just does. It's going to show my iPhone menu in a sec here. We will go under the desk and just punt the Biddy Babs. It's a great idea. Should have made that an ending. Alright. We're going under the desk. You do as Circus Baby says and hide under the desk. You grab a metal sheet and pull it towards you. For some reason, there are holes in the sheet. Not that great for trying to stay hidden for something looking for you. How did that move on its own? As you're hiding, you hear distant thuds and banging noises. Something is definitely looking for you. You look up and see a giant eye staring at you. You feel the hairs on your arm raise and your skin turns pale. The eye vanishes as you hear a child giggle. Then the metal sheet begins to slip away. Thinking on your feet, you grab the sheet and begin to play tug of war with whatever is trying to get inside. After what feels like an eternity, the creature gives up. You pull the sheet back to where it was. You sigh and let out a slight smile. But then, the sheet begins to slip away again. You throw your arms onto the edge of the sheet and pull with all your might. This time, the game of tug of war feels even longer. I like this line. You even think you can feel your fingers turn purple from the pressure you're putting on them. Purple. As you're holding onto the sheet for dear life, the animatronic suddenly stops. You yank the sheet back in place with your remaining strength. She's watching us! You hear a child whisper and then gasp. We have to leave now. You once again let out a sigh of relief. We'll see you again soon. Maybe you spoke too soon. Just scroll down, I don't know why it's there. As you begin to recollect your bearings, Circus Baby speaks to you again. When your guide comes back online, he's going to tell you that he was unsuccessful, that you must restart the system manually. He will then tell you to crawl through Ballora Gallery as fast as you can to reach the breaker room. If you follow his instructions, you will die. Ballora will not return to her stage anymore. She will catch you. The power will be restored shortly. When you crawl through Ballora Gallery, go slowly. She cannot see you and can only listen for your movement. When you hear her music become louder, she is growing near, listening for you. Wait and be still. Her voice cuts out. Thank you for your patience. It seems that the power system cannot be restarted automatically. You will need to restart the power system manually. Please return to the primary control module. Who do you think Mike would look like in this? Josh Hutcherson or Freddie Carter? Josh Hutcherson. Honestly, Josh Hutcherson is just how I envision Mike looking like. I know Freddie Carter is Michael Afton, and I do think he matches the Sister Location sprite, but like, Josh Hutcherson just embodies Mike more to me. He feels more like an everyday man, which, you know, Michael kind of is, kind of isn't. Good question, though. You get out from under the desk and crawl back into the primary control module. You will now be required to crawl through the Ballora Gallery using the vent to your left to reach the breaker room. It is recommended that you stay low to the ground and reach the other side as fast as possible so as not to disturb Ballora. I will deactivate myself momentarily as not to create an auditory disturbance. Deactivating. You enter Ballora's room and point the flashlight at your feet. Alright, chat. Do we listen to Circus Baby? Or do we not? Do we listen? Or do we ignore Baby's advice? I don't know why it doesn't automatically catch up. Whatever. You're torn. Yeah. Josh Hutcherson is like Michael's personality. Freddie Carter's probably his looks. Let's not. I want to see what happens. Hey, I don't know, man. We'll do both again. We'll do both. Let's ignore Baby's advice first. Even though she might have just saved your life, you decide to ignore Circus Baby's advice. If you can't trust your guide, who can trust you? Who can you trust? Besides, that is how you survived Freddy's after all. Using your muscle strength, you quickly crawl through Ballora Gallery. After about 20 seconds of crawling, you hear giggling and pause. It's the same giggling from when you were under the desk mere moments ago. You turn your head and see those same eyes from before. They're crawling at you at unnatural speeds, only this time, there's no metal sheet to save you. Game over. So, in this ending, it's Help Wanted 2. You know how in Help Wanted 2, if you veer to the left, right, or behind, Biddy Bab kills you for some reason. That's what this ending is referring to. Alright, we'll take Baby's advice. You listen to Circus Baby's advice, and take your time crawling through Ballora Gallery. She did just save your life after all. As you make your way through the Ballora Gallery, your guide's voice booms from your device. It seems you are taking a long time. Please proceed as quickly and quietly as possible. You feel your spirit leave your body. Closing your eyes, you pray that Ballora isn't nearby. You pause, listening for the sound of her music. Nothing. You begin to crawl. You eventually make it to the door leading to the breaker room. Actually, I'm going to switch these two words, just to make it read a little better. Eventually, you make it to the door leading to the breaker room. Getting to your feet, you push the door open and throw yourself inside. The breaker room is full of exposed wire and more machines. The only light is coming from the nearby panel, as well as a flickering blue light. In the corner of your eye, you can see the silhouette of a giant mechanical bear, Freddy. Yeah, Baby's a good guy. Yeah, wouldn't be so sure about that. You may now interface. Is that really what he says? You may now interface with the breaker control box. Using the interface may disrupt nearby electronics. If you feel that you are in danger, feel free to disconnect the interface temporarily until it is safe to reconnect. You open the panel to find 8 areas that need their power restored. Making use of a nearby mascot response audio button, you're able to calm Freddy down. One by one, you restore power to the various locations in the facility. Interestingly, 2 of the places are labeled observation. You make a mental note of that. Great job. This completes your tasks for the night. Please proceed back through the Ballora Gallery with care, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. You leave the breaker room and begin to slowly crawl through the darkness once again. Luckily for you, Ballora has given up her hunt, allowing you to smoothly make it back to the control module and head home. You wouldn't have survived this night if it wasn't for Circus Baby's instructions. You find it weird that she helped you out, not once, but twice. But who are you to turn down help? In a place like this, you'll need as much of it as you can get. Night 2 complete. So there is, if you do nothing, when Baby tells you to get under the desk, you just die. But if you go back through the primary control module, it's a different route. It gives you some game overs, gives you an ending. We'll have to come back to that. For now, night 3. Shift complete. Yeah! I would play the music if I didn't want to have to go back and forth. After everything that happened last night, you were a little hesitant to return to work. But the only thing scarier than death is letting down your father. I like that line. I really like that line. Even if he hasn't returned home in a week, he could always come back. So you sucked it up and came back anyway. This is a really good paragraph. I'm really proud of that. Welcome back to another pivotal night of your thriving new career, where you get to really ask yourself, what am I doing with my life? What would my friends say? And most importantly, will I ever see my family again? You look to the floor of the elevator. You've lost so much. Your friends, your family. What would they think of you now? We understand the stresses of a new job, and we're here for you. To help you reach a more stable and relaxing frame of mind, we offer several musical selections to help make this elevator ride as relaxing and therapeutic as possible. We offer contemporary jazz, classical, rainforest ambience, as well as a wide selection of other choices. Using the keypad below, please type the first few letters of the musical selection you would prefer. Why would he ask that? That's a good question. Yeah, shows how much Michael fears his dad. Exactly. At this point in the story, Michael's motivation to keep returning is he doesn't want to let William down. He was given specific instructions from William to put her back together, the title of the novel. The title is referring to why we keep coming back, night after night. There's only one option here. Type random numbers, because it's not even worth trying. You press random buttons on the keypad, and, to no one's surprise, the device glitches out. It seems you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will auto-correct it for you. Thank you for selecting Casual Bongos. We love Casual Bongos! Yeah! Oh, is this included in the list? It is. We're listening to Casual Bongos. After Cheez-It says their ad. Casual Bongos! You listen to the sound of bongos as you mentally prepare yourself for night 3 on the job. And although you would never admit it, those are some pretty relaxing bongos. Now that your elevator experience has been customized to your needs and you're thoroughly relaxed, it's worth mentioning that due to your lackluster performance yesterday, your pay has been decreased by a substantial amount. Please enjoy the rest of your descent. Way to kill the mood. Right. Thank you, Casual Bongos. Once the elevator stops, you begin to crawl through the vent to reach the primary control module. Due to don't know what that was about. Due to unforeseen malfunctions from today's shows, your nightly duties will require you to perform maintenance that you may or may not be skilled enough to perform. It became necessary for technicians to attempt to disconnect Funtime Freddy's power module. However, they were unsuccessful. Allowing them to try again would be an inefficient path forward, as we would need to allow 6 to 8 weeks for recovery and physical therapy. You will need to reach the Parsons service room on the other side of Funtime Auditorium to perform the procedure yourself. You exit the vent. Let's check on Ballora first and make sure she's on her stage. You press the light, expecting Ballora to be somewhere in the darkness. But what you see takes you by complete surprise. Ballora is on her stage. Kind of. She's in multiple pieces, being held up by little ballerina dolls. You expect your guide to comment on the oddity, but he doesn't. This is the part in Sister Location where you see the mini arenas holding up Ballora's pieces. No clue why they do that, but you know. Boo! Dispatch! I mean Andy Field. I mean Hand Unit. L Hand Unit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Joey. Don't you worry. Honestly, Joey, the private room is my favorite part of this. My favorite part. Because there's so many branching choices and endings. So that we're 100% going to the private room. Great. It looks like everything is as it should be in Ballora Gallery. Uh-huh. Let's check on Funtime Foxy. It's important to make sure she's on her stage before entering. You press the blue button, and unlike Ballora, Funtime Foxy is nowhere to be seen. Great. It looks like everything is as it should be in Funtime Auditorium. You really should demand a raise once you get out of here. There is no need to check on Baby tonight. Please refrain from entering unauthorized areas. Proceed directly to Funtime Auditorium. The vent coverings for both the Circus Gallery Control Module and Funtime Auditorium open. He's green? What? Oh, shoot! Nightmare Freddy. How you doing? You're green for some reason. We got chat on the screen now. We got 3 colors here. Blue, red, and green. It's a complete gamble on which one you're gonna get. Bro is green. I was so confused what you guys were talking about. Alright. Chat. Do we... I thought it was caught up. Do we go to the Circus Control Module? Or do we go to Funtime Auditorium? I don't know if I spelled that correctly. BJ, you are... blue. BJ is blue. Alright, chat. Do we get the Easter egg? It's 50-50. Damn it! Okay, Funtime Auditorium's winning. You guys really don't want to die. Alright, well, I mean, we kind of have to go to Circus Control. We gotta get the lore! I'm not reading all this, though. I'm not reading Baby's speech. Oh, yes, I am. Who am I kidding? Surely it wouldn't hurt to check on Baby, right? Your duties can wait. You crawl through the vent and into the Circus Gallery Control Module. The light and shock buttons aren't working. Just as you're about to leave, you hear Baby's voice. Did you know that I was on stage once? It wasn't for very long. Only one day. What a wonderful day, though. I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. No one sat at the tables, though. But children would run in and out. Some were afraid of me. Others enjoyed my songs. Music was always coming from somewhere else, down the hall. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. I was always acutely aware of how many there were in the room with me. 2, then 3, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 2, then none. They usually played together in groups of 2 or 3. Baby pauses before resuming. I was covered in glitter. I smelled like birthday cake. There were 2, then 3, then 5, then 4. I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream. Although I only did it once. There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Something happened when there was 1. She pauses again before continuing. A little girl standing by herself. I was no longer myself, and I stopped singing. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least not until she stepped closer. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment. Then other children rushed in again, but they couldn't hear her over the sounds of their own excitement. I still hear her sometimes. Why did that happen? Game over. The scoop. The scoop. Can she stop yapping? Yeah. Certain minigame with cupcakes and a little girl having ice cream. I'll spoil this right now. I didn't find a way to include the minigame in this, just because I don't know how that would happen. Maybe, if I were to redo this, I think maybe we could have it be like an arcade cabinet you find in like the breaker room. Playing it gives you like if you play it, it spits out the private room key card from like the coin deposit. Maybe that's how I would do it. Yeah, it would have to be a retcon though, because there's no arcades down there. Also, don't ask why I made this a game over. I just... silly like that. Alright, let's go through the Funtime Auditorium. You enter Funtime Auditorium. Unlike Ballora, Funtime Foxy is motion activated. For this reason, it's important to keep the room dark, as to not accidentally activate her. You have been provided with a flash beacon. Use it if you need to get your bearings, and to ensure you don't bump into anything. However, use it as sparingly as possible. Proceed forward to reach the parts and service room. Yeah, no, I do think, because, you know, in the Ticket to Fun book, they mention how there's arcade cabinets that act strange. They have glitches and stuff like that. To me, that confirms arcade theory. The theory that the minigames we see throughout FNAF, with the exception of 4, those are all actual arcade games that you can play in Freddy's, but they've been infected by agony, the agony of those events. I think the Circus Baby minigame could just be that, where you have to feed cupcakes normally, but then the agony of Elizabeth's death infects that and you see that. I think that could work really well. I might go back and have that. That's a W reference, Party Hat. That's a W reference. You activate the flash beacon. You see Funtime Foxy at the other end of the room, twitching. Moving forward, you count to 5 in your head. Once you reach 5, you activate the flash. Doing so keeps a good distance between you and Foxy. You repeat this until you reach the door to parts and service. Well, I don't know about those, Nightmare Freddy. The FNAF 3 minigames would just be the happiest day ones. Entering the room, you're met with a giant white and pink bear, Funtime Freddy. Previously, he was hidden in the dark, but now you're able to get a good look at him, as well as his Bonnie hand puppet. Great job reaching parts and service. It seems that Funtime Freddy is out of power, which should make your job much easier. You smile. After a night like last night, you could use a break. You follow your guide's instructions as he tells you what to do. Once all the buttons on Freddy's body have been pressed, his faceplate's open, causing you to jump back. Freddy might be deactivated, but you feel like he did that on purpose. Good job! The faceplates should now be open. Locate and press the small button on the underside of Freddy's endoskeleton jaw. Doing so opens Freddy's chest cavity. Excellent. The chest cavity should now be open. Remove the power module from the chest cavity. You locate a small blinking red chip on Freddy's chest and remove it. You place the module inside one of the pockets of your employee uniform. I might add this to it. I won't spoil it though. Great work. You will now be required to remove the secondary power module from the Bonnie hand puppet. Press the large black button beneath Bonnie's bow tie to release the power module. You go to press the button on the hand puppet, only to find it gone. You look around to try and find it, and catch a glimpse of it in the corner of your eye, hiding behind Freddy. Jump scare happened? Yeah. It gets everyone. It gets everyone. Alright. Do we quickly press the button, or do we take our time? Quickly take our time. Which one do we do? If you've played Sister Location, you know which one you have to do to not get killed. Correct. Take our time. Good job, chat. We avoided a game over. Let's take our time. You slowly move your hand, trying to match the hand puppet's speed. You're able to successfully hit the button, causing the hand puppet to freeze. Great job. You've acquired both power modules. This completes your tasks for the night. Please exit the building through Funtime Auditorium, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow. You turn around and leave parts and service. Now all you have to do is navigate your way back to the primary control module, and then you're home free. Alright, this is probably my second favorite part of the book. This part right here. We have to, there's a bunch of choices. There is a correct path to get to the primary control module. There is. There's also a game over. There's also the regular route where we get jump scared by Funtime Foxy. Alright, chat. This might be a lot of work, but we're gonna see if chat can get through this. I don't remember the right path, so we're gonna go through this together. Do we activate our flash beacon, or do we take a few steps into the dark? Let's see if we can make it through. Flash beacon or a few steps. Alright, looks like flash beacon 1. You decide to play it safe and activate your flash beacon. Sure enough, Foxy is only a few steps in front of you. Chat, do we wait for Foxy to leave? Do we go to the left? Or do we go to the right? It's almost been an hour into the stream. Damn. Chat wants us to wait. Is there a secret path for the FNAF playstyle? And chat just says the entered boss fight with poles. No. Although that would have been a good idea. The entered boss fight is more, it's not like this. There's one vote on left, but wait did win. You wait a few seconds before activating your flash beacon again. When you do, Funtime Foxy is nowhere to be seen. You take a few steps forward and activate it again. This time, Foxy is to your right. So, good job, chat. If we chose right, we would have gotten jump scared. Alright. Do we continue? Whoops. Do we continue forward? Or do we go left? Which one do we say? See, I really like this part of the book. It is kind of it is entirely RNG, but I do like that there is a pathway out of here. You just have to find it. Chat's going back and forth. It's a tie, which means it's up to me. I don't know. I don't remember. Grab a chair and throw it at him. I'll throw the Freddy Faz duck at him. Alright, forward overtook it. We're going forward. You take a few steps into the dark and activate your flash beacon. Ah! Everything goes dark. We'll go left this time. Never mind. Okay, we messed that up. Let's go. Wait, we did wait before. Let's move forward. You move forward, even though Foxy should be right in front of you. For some reason, he's moved, allowing you to make some progress. You're almost free, just a few more steps. IDEC, we got jump scared by Foxy. So if you wait, I guess, wait, and then that route, you can't get out. Alright. Pretend that never happened. Do we flash? Do we go straight? Or do we go left again? Again, I do not remember the right way out of here. So this is entirely up to chance. Straight has 1 vote. Flash has 1 vote. Joey is on the right path. Put him in a headlock. Alright, Flash. You activate the flash beacon, and Foxy is nowhere to be seen. Wiping away sweat from your forehead, you take a moment to think. Alright. Once again, do we go straight? If I could spell correct. Oh my god. Straight, left, or right? I think that was a correct choice. Oh. Straight. Straight. Okay. Alright. I mean left. have a feeling it's right. Straight has 80% of the polls, so let's go straight. We got jump scared again. Alright, let's, we did wait before. We did flash. See, this is hard. You have to, like, kind of remember the path. So we just did straight, right? Yeah, we did straight. Let's go right. Nope, I can tell that's a game over. Nope, oh my god, these are all game overs. Hang on. Alright, that's a game over. God, I don't remember. Oh my god. Hang on, I'm gonna get us through this. Hang on. Nope, not what I meant to do. Okay, this is we're at the end here. We're at the end. We're almost at the end. You walk to the right and activate the beacon. Foxy is to your left, but you're only a couple footsteps away from the primary control module. You need to think carefully here. So, one of these options can kill us. Bye, Idek. Thanks for being here. Do we wait for Foxy to move? Do we move to the left? Or do we try to make a run for it to the exit? Which one, chat? Do we wait for Foxy? Do we turn to the left, or do we make a run for it? Chat's saying wait. I think that's correct. I don't know. Not like I wrote this. Alright, we're gonna wait. If we do nothing. Correct answer, chat. Good job. You do nothing. After a few seconds, you don't even bother with the flash beacon. Taking a few steps, you reach the exit and make it to the primary control module. The vent covering shuts behind you, and you let out a sigh of relief. So in the actual game, you can't make it out of here. It is scripted. It's scripted to jump scare you every time. I thought it would be cool what if you can leave? What would happen? That night, after you finish watching TV, you go to bed more tired than usual, despite tonight not being nearly as tedious as the last. Once you get in bed, you fall asleep really quickly. Almost immediately after you fall asleep, you have a dream. You're in a black void of nothingness. It's oddly peaceful at first, until you notice a little girl standing by herself on a stage. She's illuminated by a single stage light coming from nowhere. The girl doesn't look any older than your sister did before she disappeared. In fact, they look around the same age. As you continue to get closer to the girl, you notice the details of her more clearly. She's wearing white clown makeup, has faint rosy cheeks, and has a fan for a stomach. She's also wearing a red skirt and clown shoes with bells on the ends. As you get closer and closer to the girl, you feel more and more of a connection to her. You're now standing at the front of the stage. Even though you already know the answer to your question, you ask it anyway. Who are you? The girl opens her eyes. Bright green. They burn a hole into your soul. And as she says, it's me. Game over. So in this path, also that should be spaced out. I'll fix that. In this path, Michael escapes. He makes it out of night 3. But when he goes home, he has a nightmare where he sees his sister is Circus Baby. I think I might add an extra part to this, because right now it's cool, you know, Michael is standing at the front of the stage looking up at Baby. I think it would be cool if we have a parallel to Elizabeth's death where she grabs him into her stomach and that's how he dies. Yeah, I like this ending. This is one of my favorite game overs. Alright. Let's get the other one. If we made a run for it, what would have happened? You decide to make a run for it. Once you reach the exit, you hear the sound of a sprinting animatronic coming right at you. You try to move out of the way, but Foxy's tail accidentally penetrates you right through your stomach. You start to bleed out, as Foxy stands over you watching. The last thing you see before you give in is a pair of green eyes watching you from behind Funtime Foxy. Game over. So, if Michael tried to make a run for the exit, he would have accidentally gotten impaled by Foxy's tail and then bled out to death, and he would have seen Circus Baby watching from the dark. I think Foxy's tail is pure metal. That's how he's able to get impaled by it. It's a bit of a silly ending, but I like it. Aw, thank you, Joey. Comment is peak from Joey. Night 4. If we got jump scared, which we did. Night 4. You wake up. You're not dead? The last thing you remember was being caught by the fox, and now you're stuck inside something. You're about to try to wiggle your way out when a voice stops you. Shh! Be still and quiet. You've been sleeping for quite a while. It's Circus Baby. I think they noticed that you never left the building last night. The cameras were searching for you, but they couldn't find you. I have you hidden too well. I kidnapped you. Ruh-roh. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm only going to keep you for a little while. Try not to wiggle, though. You're inside something that came from my old pizzeria. I don't think it was ever used. At least, not the way it was meant to be used. Too dangerous. It's just big enough for one person to fit inside, but just barely. You're in the scooping room. Do you know why they call it the scooping room? It's because, dummy, this is the room where they use the scooper. I thought that would be obvious. Isn't that a fun name for something? The scooper? It sounds like something you would use for ice cream, or custard, or sprinkles. It sounds like something you would want at your birthday party to ensure that you get a heaping portion of every good thing. I wonder, though, if you were a freshly opened pint of ice cream, how you would feel about something with that name. Thankfully, I don't think a freshly opened pint of ice cream feels anything at all. Also, can we just, pint of ice cream, custard, those are very British terms, at least in my opinion. I think that's a little bit of Elizabeth poking out there. Just then, you hear a door opening in the distance, followed by heavy footsteps. Uh-oh, sounds like someone else is in the building. Shh. All right, chat. Do we stay quiet, or do we try to scream for help? That's true. William is British. He could have programmed her, but, I don't know why she wouldn't have a British accent. The Biddy Babs do, for some reason. Do we stay quiet, or do we make noise? Chat's already saying to stay quiet. You guys are too good. Too good. All is well in the Afton family. Cheers. Alright, stay quiet's winning. We won't die. You stay quiet. The door to your room, My god. Oh, don't worry, Nightmare Freddy. Ballora will be there. You stay quiet. The door to the room you're in opens, and 2 men enter. The first man speaks with a flat voice. Okay, bring her over. Forward. More. Okay, stop. Set her down. Watch the step. The second man speaks in a heavy New York accent. What happened to it this time? It just seems these things can't go a day without breaking down. What are they talking about? Who knows? It's always the same, man. Some kind of hardware malfunction. Well, look, I have to be somewhere in 15 minutes, and this place gives me the creeps. Can we just get this over with? It's all automated. We don't have to be here for it. Just get her on the rollers and we can go. Something gets placed on a conveyor belt and brought in front of you. It's Ballora. There's something very important that I've learned how to do over time, Circus Baby says. Do you know what that is? How to pretend. Do you ever play make-believe? Pretend to be one way when you're really the other? It's very important. Ballora never learns, but I do. She continues. They think there is something wrong on the inside. The only thing that matters is knowing how to pretend. A loud alarm blares, followed by a giant piece of machinery attacking Ballora, the scooper. After it hits her a couple of times, Ballora is destroyed right in front of your eyes. Baby speaks once again. I'll open the faceplates for you. That way they can find you on the cameras. The faceplates on the suit you're in open up. Now, all you have to do is wait. I'd recommend that you keep the spring locks wound up. Your breathing and your heartbeat are causing them to come loose. You don't want them to get too loose. Trust me. You hear multiple rapid clicking noises all around you. Those must be the spring locks. Rotating between spring locks, you make sure they all stay wound. Eventually, small ballerina dolls come out from the darkness and climb up the suit. Some even climb into the suit with you. Could they be harmless? They got remnant inside of them. Alright, chat. Mini arenas. How do we want to deal with them? Do we want to shake them off? Shake them off? Or do we ignore them? Again, if you've played Sister Location, you know there's only one right answer here to deal with the mini arenas. Said is dead. You shouldn't use said, really? Oh, said is dead as in the person who was saying it is dead. Oh, that makes sense. Shake, shake, shake. Cause I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Let's shake the dolls off the suit. You decide it's not worth the risk, and shake the dolls off the suit while keeping the spring locks wound. After what feels like an eternity, help arrives, and you're let out of the suit. Once you go home, you try to understand why Circus Baby would have kidnapped you. Maybe she saved you from Funtime Foxy? Whatever the reason, you're alive thanks to her. Again. And that's something you're very grateful for. Night 4 complete. Night 5. Night 5. Welcome back to the last day on the job. That is, the last day of your first week. Some of the most valued qualities that we like to see in new employees are determination, fearlessness, and a genuine disregard for instinctive self-preservation. You have earned your 1-week bonus, which will be given to you in the form of a delightful gift basket, the cost of which will be taken out of your next paycheck. Weave gift baskets Did he say weave? We have gift baskets containing fruit, nuts, flowers, and of course, the ever-popular cash basket. Using the keypad below, please enter the first few letters of the gift basket you would like to receive. Oh, party hat, that makes sense. That makes sense. Said is a very neutral word. The only option here is type cash, because that's the only thing Mike cares about. That's the only thing he would think about. Who wouldn't want a basket full of cash? You try to type cash onto the keypad, but it glitches out. Oh yeah. It seems you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will autocorrect it for you. Thank you for selecting Exotic Butters. And the crowd goes wild. Please be aware that there are still 2 technicians on site today. Try to avoid interfering with their work if possible. Also, feel free to ask them why they are still here, and encourage them to go home. That's actually not a bad idea. You have no idea why anyone would want to work overtime in a place like this. The elevator stops. You get out, and make it to the primary control module, like usual. Let's check on Ballora, and make sure she's on her stage. You press the button to activate the light, and see the body of a hanging technician above Ballora's stage. You're speechless. Great! Now let's check on Funtime Foxy. What? But you go along with it. Pressing the light button, you see another hanging body above Foxy's stage. Great! It looks like everything is as it should be in Funtime Auditorium. At least you found the technicians. Your task today will involve more maintenance work. Circus Baby had a rough day and is in need of repair. You will be required to reach the parts and service room by once again sneaking through Funtime Auditorium. As always, please proceed with caution. Rest in peace, technicians. The vent covering opens. You're about to go through when you pause. You feel like you're missing something. You only now realize it, but the entire time you've been working here, you felt as if there's something larger at play. Now is your chance to see if you were right. Where will you look first? Alright, chat. We have 3 options here. Do we check? Do we try to find the mask? Ennard's mask? Do we look at the drawers? Or do we ignore our gut and just go into Funtime Auditorium? Which one? Which one, chat? Do we look for the mask? Do we check the drawers? Or do we just go straight to Funtime Auditorium? Mask 1. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Interesting, interesting. You look up Above the giant spinning fan, the clown mask is missing. Did one of the technicians remove it before they... Please proceed through the Funtime Auditorium and make your way to parts and service. Your guide's voice startles you. Yeah, you suppose you should go finish your chores for tonight. Then you can get back to searching afterwards. Chat, I'm not gonna lie, you chose a lame answer. You guys chose a lame answer. The drawers would have given us lore and characterization. But no. Yeah, let's finish our tasks. You enter Funtime Auditorium, and the first thing you do is activate your flash beacon. Funtime Foxy isn't visible, so you take a few more steps before activating the beacon again. Still nothing. Hi, Spartan. Hey. I'll take that fascinated part. I'll take that. No, we're reading through a Sister Location interactive novel that I wrote. We're currently on night 5. Both of these are the same choices. There's no difference. So we'll just take our time. You make your way through Funtime Auditorium with no trouble. Strange. Once you enter parts and service, you're greeted with a deactivated circus baby sitting on a conveyor belt. This is the first time you've seen her in person. She's massive. Low taper fade. Great job reaching parts and service. Your guide once again speaks through the device. Circus Baby has been deactivated for an unknown reason. It is your job to ensure she is structurally stable and secured to the conveyor. Our technicians will take it from there. The voice cuts out, and the silence is immediately filled.
Can you hear me?
The voice of Circus Baby fills the room.
I'm pretending. Remember how I said I could pretend? The cameras are watching. I must be careful not to move. Something bad happened yesterday. Something bad always happens. I don't want it to happen again. There's something bad inside of me. I'm broken. I can't be fixed. I'm going to be taken to the scooping room soon, but it's not going to fix what's wrong with me. What is bad is always left behind.
Oh yeah, and it's behind her this whole time.
Will you help me? I want you to save what is good, so the rest can be destroyed and never recovered. But you must be careful. Ballora is here in the room with us. Ballora will not return to her stage. Ballora will not return to her body.
I think, again, if I was doing this again, I would add a choice here to either listen or disobey, but whatever.
You must be careful. You must remain calm and listen to my voice. There is a button on my cheek. You must find it and press it.
You press the button, and one of Circus Baby's faceplates opens up to reveal a keypad.
There is a passcode that you must enter before you can retrieve me. Enter the code carefully.
As Baby reads out numbers, you carefully input them into the keypad. As soon as you're finished, a hatch opens on one of her arms. Yeah. Not my favorite part.
Good. A hatch should have opened. Take the card that you find inside.
You take the card.
Now you must turn back. I will guide you through Funtime Auditorium so you can reach the scooping room. When you are there, I want you to destroy this body. Put the card into your handheld device, and I can continue to speak to you. Now, press the green button to your left. This will send me to the scooping room.
You do as she says, placing the card into your device and pressing the button. The conveyor activates, sending Circus Baby away. You think you can see something standing behind where she was, but you brush it off. Entered! You hear Baby's voice coming from your device.
You must follow my instructions in Funtime Auditorium. Ballora is going to follow you. She will try to catch you. I will help you avoid her. She will not follow you inside the scooping room. She is afraid. Go back now.
You leave parts and service and find yourself back in the darkness of Funtime Auditorium.
Go forward.
Baby says through your device. You do as she says.
Stop.
You stop. After a few seconds, Baby's voice returns.
Go forward and left.
Alright, chat. Another 3-way poll. Do we do as Baby says and go left? Do we disobey Baby and go right? Do we activate our flash beacon to, stun Ballora? Everyone's saying right. Flashing is death? True, party hat. And someone voted for it. It'd be funnier to go right. Oh, Spartan, I didn't even Hi, FNC, Spartan. I didn't even realize you guys were in. Oh, Spartan, I read your chat. I think I'm just stupid. Hi, FNC. Didn't realize you were in here. Alright, chat wants me to go right. Joey, you're spot on. You're spot on. You know, let's activate the flash beacon just to get the game over. You activate your flash beacon, hoping to stun Ballora. You catch a glimpse of what you think is her endoskeleton, although something appears off about it. In the brief moment you caught it, you could tell it had multiple eyeballs scattered across its body and a large button on its chest. That doesn't look like Ballora. Before you can make a run for it, the creature has you in its grasp, and it's not long before it adds your eyeballs to its collection. I like that line. I really like that line. It's gross. Alright, chat wants to go right. You go right, ignoring Circus Baby's directions. You find yourself at a locked door. Access denied. A robotic female voice says as you try to open the door. If only you had something to open it. Alright, chat. Do we have the key card? No. If you have nothing to use, click here. You try the door again. Access denied. Well, it was worth a shot. Game over. Chat. 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 We don't have the key card, so we can't get in. Let's do the scooping ending first, then we'll get the key card and come back. You follow Circus Baby's directions until you end up in the scooping room. The giant scooper sits between two large windows. Animatronic parts are scattered along the floor. Your guide's voice comes in. Warning, you've entered a highly dangerous area. You've entered from Maintenance Hatch 1B, reserved for cleaning and repair of the scooper. Entering this side of the room is strictly prohibited by unauthorized personnel. The voice of your guide is interrupted by Circus Baby. Bye, BJ.
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today. Ballora has already been here today. Circus Baby has already been here today.
What looks like a twisted endoskeleton comes into view from one of the windows. It's wearing the clown mask from the primary control module.
I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There's nowhere to go when we look like this. But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
You find yourself unable to move, although you don't know why. That would have been explained if we looked through the drawers. Or at least, that's what you tell yourself. Maybe something deep inside you wants this. The endoskeleton activates a switch, and the scooper scoops you. The next thing you know, you're leaving the building. But you aren't in control of your body. Rather, an amalgamation of pure evil puppets you from the inside. The only thing you can do is watch. The end. We did it! We got an ending! There's 2 more endings to this. Bet that caught you guys off guard. You thought I was just going to say there's 1 ending. There's 2. Two more endings. Yeah, no, so, since... Never mind, I won't explain it. Yeah, maybe something deep inside wants this. Michael characterization. Thank you, Joey. Alright, let's retry night 5, because this is how you get the key card. So, if instead of looking for the clown mask, we look through the drawers. You decide to look through the drawers in the primary control module. At first, there's nothing of interest. Legal documents and stuff like that. But then, you find something that catches your interest. Alright, chat. Do we look at blueprints, or do we look at the shiny object that we noticed before? Bye, Joey. Yeah, you can just rewatch. Do we look at the blueprints, or do we look for the shiny object? I'll say this. Blueprints is Michael characterization and lore. Shiny object is an ending. I like shiny things. I can't argue with that logic. Let's get the shiny thing. Actually, we'll do both. We'll do all of them. You find blueprints for the animatronics. Funtime Foxy, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and of course, Circus Baby. Something about Circus Baby's design catches your attention. There's a strange shape in her chest cavity, something that almost resembles a... You check the other blueprints. Freddy has the same shape in his chest cavity. You gulp. Is this where your sister went? Suddenly it all clicks in your head. That's why Baby was helping you. That's what your father had meant when he told you to put her back together. You feel your heart beat faster, and your face turns pale white as the realization hits. Your father is a monster, and you were helping him the whole time. Every shock, every order followed without question. Every time you chose not to look deeper. Just then, you understand why the animatronics want you dead. Because they think you're him. And maybe you've been acting like him too. So, if we look at the blueprints, this is what I'm saying Michael canonically does. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. This route, Michael discovers blueprints for the animatronics. He realizes, oh my god, my father built these things to capture children. That's where Elizabeth went. I've been helping a monster this whole time. And then, clicking here to continue, you go through the rest of the night as normal. Then you get to the scooper. That feeling inside of Michael that he feels, which doesn't make him move, which causes him to stand still and get scooped. In this route that we just got, that's him being like, I need to pay for what I've done. I've been helping a monster. I've been acting like him. I've been complying with everything he said without questioning it. I deserve to die. I deserve death. So this option, it doesn't give you like an item or a specific game over. It shapes the way you view the ending. Right? Before it's like, I wonder why he doesn't move. Now it's like, we know why Michael doesn't move. He feels like he needs to die. W. Mike. Yeah. Thanks, Spartan. I really like this part. I think this is peak. Let's look at the shiny object. Opening up one of the drawers, you find a shiny keycard. There's a name on it. William Afton, your father. You place the keycard in your pocket. You never know when it might come in handy. Now we have the keycard. Let's go back to the private room door. If you go right, click here. We do have the keycard this time. That's right, the keycard you found earlier. You swipe it in a scanner, and the door unlocks. You throw yourself inside the room and close the door behind you. It locks. You're in an office, similar to the one in Freddy's. There's a door to your left and right, and a giant vent sits in the center of the wall ahead of you. In front of the vent is a desk with a fan, 3 large monitors, and a plush toy of Fredbear. Just like the one... It seems that you have accidentally wandered into a restricted area. Due to the sensitive nature of the materials that you may be exposed to here, you will not be allowed to leave the area until the cleanup crew arrives at 6 a.m. So hang tight. Rest assured that you will be promptly rescued, fired, then sent home. Thank you for being an employee. We hope that your experience has not been as regrettable as ours. Rescued? Rescued from what? Just then, you hear a metal scraping noise and check the monitors. You see a twisted endoskeleton making its way down the right hallway. You jump to the door and shut it using your big red button. A few seconds later, you hear a loud thump and check the monitors again. The creature has left the hallway. You open the door and look at the clock. 12 a.m. Deja vu. Alright, chat. Now we start to get into, like, the choices. As if we weren't there already. Alright, chat. Do we check the cameras for Ennard to try to find him? Or do we look around the office for lore? Again, this is my favorite part of the book. So, that's saying something. Mainly because of the game overs. Chat wants us to look around. Let's take a closer look around the office. You look around the office and find a keypad. I wonder what this is for. More choices! Alright. We don't have the code, so we won't do that one. Alright, do we try to find a code? Do we check the cams? Or do we keep looking around the office? Do we try to find the code for the keypad, look at the cameras to find Ennard, or do we keep looking around the office? Try to find a code. Alright. Let's try to find this thing. Looking out into the hallway, you spot a desk with a clipboard on it. Closing the left door, you go out into the hallway through the open door. You make it to the desk and pick up the clipboard. The clipboard holds papers with charts, seemingly containing random numbers and dates. But one year stands out to you, 1983. It's the first year on the chart, and there's a name next to it. Before you get a chance to read it, you hear a loud clanging noise behind you in the office. Crap! You forgot to close the vent door! You make a run for it down the hall and hide in the supply closet. You shut the door just enough to where you can still see out into the hall. You let out a faint sigh of relief when you watch the creature pass the closet you're in. Just as you're about to leave the closet and head back to the office, you hear a giggle coming from above. You look up to see a plush version of Circus Baby staring down at you. It begins to violently shake, and as you reach for the handle of the door, it pounces at your face. Its little plush arms grab your ears and rip them clean off. How is that even possible? The sound of the doll's laughter echoes through your mind, getting louder and louder. You fall backwards out into the hallway and look up to see the creature staring down at you. It grabs the plush and rips its head off before doing the same to you. The plush babies! We got killed. We got killed by the plush babies. But we have the code now. 1983. Let's see what happens when we input the code. When you go to input a code onto the keypad, 4 digits stand out in your mind. 1983. The keypad beeps. It worked. Suddenly, the monitors spring to life, their static clearing to show a bedroom, hallway, and Fredbear's Family Diner? But that place closed years ago. What is it doing here? You suddenly remember seeing places labeled Observation in the breaker room, and it all clicks. You begin to feel lightheaded after the realization. As hard as you try not to, you end up fainting. You never wake back up. Alright. Let's continue searching around the office. Yeah, let's do that. Looking around the office, you find a circuit breaker box. Thinking back to your time as a night guard at Freddy's and how important it was to conserve the power, you think you might just be able to juice up the circuit breaker to give yourself extra power to defend against the creature. But how would you do that? Of course, you pull the power module from before out of your pocket. Having an employee uniform really does pay off. You place the module on the circuit breaker, and sure enough, it causes the box to begin to malfunction. So, it's the power module from Funtime Freddy. Sparks of electricity start flying out from it, and they progressively get bigger and bigger. Party hat, I think you almost got murked by Ennard. Alright, do we try to remove the power module? Do we remove the power module, or do we do nothing? Right now, the power box is sparking, and the sparks are getting bigger and bigger. Alright, looks like we're removing it. Or trying. You try to remove the power module from the box, but the magnetic connection is stronger than you thought. You keep pulling and pulling, focused solely on trying to prevent an accident from occurring, that you forget all about the murderous creature trying to kill you. Almost there. Got it! You rip the power module off the breaker box, and it lets out one final jolt of electricity. The jolt gets sent out to a nearby door, and hits the creature. The creature falls to the ground. You look at it twitch and convulse, its eyes flickering on and off. Then, it stops. The power goes down. The eyes power down. It goes limp. The next few hours go by, and you stare at the creature to make sure it doesn't move, and it never does. You get rescued from the room and promptly fired for tampering with the animatronics. Not only did you get fired from your job, but you let your father down. Maybe it would have been better to let the creature kill you. So, Mike tries removing the power module from the box. He gets it off, but it sends out electricity that hits Ennard, deactivates him. Michael is rescued and fired, but he realizes that he let William down. Maybe it would have been better to just die. Yeah, we murdered Ennard. But Michael lives. This is a game over where he lives. This is a good ending. Maybe not a good ending. I mean, no, it is a good ending. Because William isn't going to show up. He's Springtrap. So this is probably the best ending right here. This is the best ending for this game, for this book. Ennard is dead. Michael lives. He gets fired. All is well. This is the best ending. If we do nothing, what happens? You know better than to touch malfunctioning machinery, especially since there's a good chance you just end up making it worse. You stare at the electricity coming out of the box until eventually, whoosh, flames. You take a step back. Looking out into the hallway, the creature is also staring at the flames. It seems you two have a common enemy. You run over to the door that you came in from, but it won't budge. You look back at the creature, and it's gone. Maybe it's onto something. You dash out of the office as the flames grow higher. Not long after, the entire office is engulfed in flames. You run through the halls of the metal labyrinth, trying to find an exit. You wonder where the creature ran off to, but right now you have bigger problems. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's a way out, and you end up backed into a corner by the flames. Nearby pipes are exploding, the ceiling is collapsing, the smoke and ash makes the air completely unbreathable in the claustrophobic halls. You aren't sure what kills you, whether it's one of those three or maybe something else. A few days later, the collapse of Circus Baby's entertainment and rental is all over the news. It turns out the entire facility collapsed. Luckily, no one was in the facility with you when it collapsed. Well, no one alive. When police investigated the rubble, they found the charred remains of your corpse, as well as a charred clown mask. So in this ending, Michael does nothing, and the power box explodes into flames. Ennard and Mike try to escape, but they're unable to. Circus Baby's entertainment and rental collapses the entire facility, and they find Michael's charred corpse and the charred remains of Ennard. So in this ending, Michael and Ennard both die. Because they can't get out. They're trapped. At least Ennard's dead. Alright, let's search the cameras for Ennard. Now we're getting into the gameplay. Yeah, it's basically FNAF 6, but without William. Yeah. No Scrap Baby, no Molten Freddy, no Michael. It's just Henry, the puppet, and William Afton, who are left alive in that ending. So, you know. You check the cameras to find the creature. It's about halfway down the left hall. You count to 5 and then close the door. Thump! Checking the cameras. The creature is gone. Old habits die hard.
Why didn't you trust me?
The voice of Circus Baby echoes throughout the hall. You honestly can't answer that question, but you're glad you didn't. You try looking for her on the cameras, but she's nowhere to be found. Only the creature.
Why didn't you believe me?
You check the cameras and catch the creature crawling through the large vent.
Sometimes I don't understand why people do the things that they do.
This time you can tell where that came from. The vent. This creature has the voice of Circus Baby. You count to 5 and shut the vent door. Thump! You keep this up for the next several hours, all while the creature tries to use Circus Baby's voice to trick you into letting it in the room. Once the clock hits 4, the creature tries a different approach to try to trick you. Hello? I cannot do Elizabeth's voice.
Hello?
Your eyes widen. You could have sworn that sounded just like...
Hello?
It's her. Your sister. Should you open the door? So obviously, in the real Ennard boss fight at 4 a.m., Ennard mimics Elizabeth's voice. Do we let her in? Do we ignore her voice? Obviously, it's not really Elizabeth. Because that wouldn't make any sense. Do we open the door or ignore her? Good answer, chat. Good answer. We're not opening that bad boy. Stay on top of your game. That's what you remember telling yourself before you started this job. You don't allow your emotions to take hold of you, and you keep the door shut. The creature continues.
I don't understand. You have to let me inside the room. We need you so that we can leave. We need you so that we can hide.
You ignore every false plea.
I know it was an accident. Isn't this why you came here? To be with me again?
It is, but you're not Elizabeth. Fun fact, this is the only time Elizabeth's name is mentioned in this entire book, just because I think it's impactful there. The clock strikes 5. The creature is getting desperate. Its aggression doubles, and it continues to use your sister's voice. You check your power. 12%. You can do this. Thump! 10%. You don't even bother checking the cameras anymore, only listening for the sound of the creature scraping against the floor. Then, once it's close, thump! 8%. Your arms are getting tired. Thump! 6%. You feel mentally exhausted. This place has drained the life out of you. Thump! 3%. And worst of all, you never found your sister. Thump! 1%. You brace yourself for the inevitable. Chat, party hat is in Afton, because Elizabeth's their cousin. Holy crap. The clock turns to 6 a.m. The doors to the office all shut, and the door behind you opens. Freedom. As you're leaving the office, you hear the voice of Circus Baby one last time. I will find a way. I can't do her voice. I will find a way out. You return your uniform, handheld device, and tool belt. Then, you leave Circus Baby's entertainment and rental for good. Later that night, as you're watching your favorite TV show, you hear the sound of metal being dragged across your living room floor. You turn around to see what's making the noise. Your heart drops when you see that the creature has followed you home. The end. That's the fake ending. And there's a little question mark there. We just got the fake ending. Now, if you remember, earlier in the stream I said there were, like 20 minutes ago, there were 3 endings. We have 2 of them. Where, oh where could that 3rd ending be? Well, I'm going to take us back to night 2. Night 2, night 2, night 2. Night 2. We go through all this. The power is out. Baby has instructed us to go under the desk. If we do nothing, we die. If we hide under the desk, everything goes as normal. If we go back to the primary control module, you turn around and head back into the vent leading to the primary control module. Remembering the animatronics at Freddy's, you don't want to risk an encounter with one again, let alone one who can speak. You make it to the primary control module. All the vent coverings are open. Where do you go? Alright, chat. We're not going to turn back around. That just brings us back. Are we going to go to Ballora Gallery? Are we going to go to Funtime Foxy's Auditorium? Or are we going to go back to the elevator? Oh yeah. Chat's locked in. Do we go to Ballora Gallery, Funtime Auditorium, or the elevator? Looks like we're going through the elevator. Although I do kind of want to do the other ones just to show them. You stand there in the dark. So this is... Never mind, that's blah, blah, blah. If we went to Funtime Auditorium, since it's too dark to see anything, you pull out your flashlight. Just then, you remember something crucial. You never sent Funtime Foxy back to his stage. You quickly turn on your light and look for the animatronic fox. You find Funtime Foxy standing in the corner. You lock eyes, as you're frozen in place from fear. Light in Foxy's eyes has stopped him before, so surely it will work on him again. Unfortunately, not all foxes are the same, and before you know it, you're dead. You enter Ballora Gallery. Since it's too dark to see anything, you pull out your flashlight. Just then, you remember something crucial. You never sent Ballora back to her stage. You quickly turn on your light and look for the animatronic ballerina. After searching the entire room, she's nowhere to be seen. You breathe a sigh of relief, before something in your gut tells you to look up. As you point your flashlight to the ceiling, you see a pair of purple eyes looking down at you. Ballora's faceplates open up, and she pounces on you. Holding you to the ground, she plays music. Is she trying to comfort you? Just then, you see dozens of yellow eyes appear from the darkness, and they're all coming towards you. No, she's not trying to comfort you. She's alerting her minions to your presence, and soon, you will be dead. So if we try to go through Funtime Auditorium and Ballora Gallery, Mike never sent the animatronics back to their stages, if you remember, on night 2, so they kill him. In this one, the mini arenas kill you. But what if we go to the elevator? You crawl through the vent leading to the elevator. Thankfully, the doors are still open, allowing you to enter inside. You press the red button, and the doors shut. Now, all you need to do is wait. You ended up dozing off. When you awaken, you find that the power to the building is back up and running. Once you get up back to the surface, you're met with your boss, who was waiting for you. He promptly tells you that you're fired, and you ask him for the time. He simply extends his arm as you turn in your things, so Mike was fired. The next couple of months are rough. Your father still hasn't returned home, causing you to believe he's either on the run or dead. You yourself haven't been able to hold a job for more than a week due to all the stress you've been feeling. Eventually, you lose the house and have to live in the alleys of your town. To stay warm, you stole a Halloween costume from a dumpster. You can't quite tell what it is, but it looks like a Grim Reaper of sorts. To eat, you steal food from stores. To stay hydrated, you don't want to get into that. Rumors have begun to spread about you. Your new name is the Grim Shadow, and apparently you feast on naughty children, so Michael becomes a cryptid. Months pass, and you're just barely getting by. This all changes one night, when you're approached by a man. It's downpouring, so you've had to carry an umbrella with you to stay dry. It doesn't help that you found the umbrella in a dumpster, and it has holes in it. The man slowly approaches you, claiming he means you no harm. He says he wants to help you, to which you say you don't believe him. He tells you that he knows who you are, who you really are. He calls you by your name, Michael. It's been so long since you've heard that name, you'd almost forgotten it. You ask the man who he is, and how he knows you. He tells you he's just a tired, old man, trying to stop the horrors of Freddy's once and for all, and that he needs your help. You agree, in exchange for food and shelter. As the two of you walk back to his car in the pouring rain, you tell him he never told you his name. "Oh yes," the man says. "Where are my manners?" He extends a hand. You look at it, and then look him in the eyes. The man's hand retreats, and he sighs. "My name is Henry." The end. And that's the end. That's the end of the book. Obviously, it's not like the canon ending. We all know it's the scooping one. But this one, Michael leaves the facility, gets fired, and Henry, he becomes homeless. Henry finds him and recruits him. Henry says he wants to stop the horrors of Freddy's once and for all, so maybe they go do FNAF 6 together. But I'm sure it would be very different because Ennard doesn't exist. So that's the book. That's the book. Let me play a sound effect because we're finished. Shift complete. We did it.
When your teeth are sensitive.
We did it. We made it through the book. That was Five Nights at Freddy's. Put her back together. Chat, I want to thank you guys for being here. I had a lot of fun doing that. That was nice. It was reading through it like that. It's not that bad. You know, yesterday I was talking about how I don't really like it. And it's still not perfect. I still don't love the book. I think there's definitely room to improve. But that was fun. It was fun. I think if we had that instead of Sister Location the game, if that was our sister location in book form only, I think it'd be perfect. Yeah. I had a lot of fun writing that. I'm sure you can tell with some of the game overs. I went a little crazy. And like some of the scenes where Michael realizes he's been helping a monster. Yeah. This book, I'm proud of it. I still would say I like the FNAF 4 interactive novel better. If you missed that, go watch yesterday's stream. Yeah, but this one's still fun. I enjoy this one. Chat, I'm curious. I know. Never mind. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. What did you think of it? Party hat. That means a lot. That's some inspiration from for your book. That's I like to hear that. What did you guys think of it? Do you guys think it was solid? Feedback of any kind would be greatly appreciated, even negative feedback. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Thank you. Thank you. Feels official in some parts. I agree. I think my biggest complaints with that, there's not enough impactful choices. Most of the choices just kill you. But I guess that makes sense. I also think some parts go on too long, like Night 5, the baby part in Night 5. And some parts aren't expanded on. They're not as long as they should be, like the breaker room. So pacing is a little weird in some parts. I think that's mainly hurt by all the dialogue I included. I wanted to include as much as the original dialogue as possible, just to, keep it as accurate to the game as I could. But I think that came at the cost. I think that came at the cost of having pacing issues. But some parts of it, I do agree with you. I do think some parts feel official. Which, thank you. How long have I been going for 2 hours? My butt hurts. I've been sitting for too long. If you guys don't have any final thoughts, I'm going to end stream. It was a good stream. I'm glad we went through that. I had fun. I hope you guys did too. We got chat to show up on screen, which is huge. I'm very happy with that. Very happy chat shows up on screen now. The delay is still there, but I think that's just a natural part of life. But chat shows up on screen now, which I'm very pleased about. What's your question, Nightmare Freddy? Yeah, I enjoyed that. We'll wait for Nightmare Freddy to send the question, and then we'll end stream. I'm gonna go downstairs and have some. What am I gonna have? If we have mac and cheese still, I'm gonna have mac and cheese. If we don't, I'm just gonna have cheese. Next stream. Good question. Yeah, so maybe the FNAF 4 book. Me and my friend are still writing that. We did go through it yesterday, but obviously we could just go through it again. Yeah, next stream probably will be going through the FNAF 4 interactive novel. But don't expect that for at least like another week, just because we're still writing it. We are ending we're almost done with day 3, going into day 4. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that probably will be next stream. Similar to this one, it'll be polls asking you guys where you want to go, stuff like that. Alright, I'm going to end stream. Party hat, have fun writing your book. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a blast. And I will see you guys in the next stream, hopefully next week. But if not, then I don't know. Bye guys. Peace.